Hello YouTube. Well, we're out here at the good old 78 Pontiac Bonneville and we got issues. We got no starting issues. I came out this morning. I was going to drive my car to work. It's a nice day today, just beautiful in the 70s. So I thought, well, this would be a great day to fire up this car and drive it to work and back, you know, like I like to do now and then. And it wouldn't start. It didn't even try to start. So I think I know what's going on with it. I've had a couple clues that something was starting to go wrong with it the last few times I drove it. First of all, as you can see, it's in the garage. I keep it in here in my house, and a couple times in the past after I brought it in and turned it off, it just stunk the garage up to high heaven with gas fumes, which of course is not safe with it being connected to the house. So I came out and checked and checked and checked, and I couldn't find anything leaking. It wasn't leaking on the engine, wasn't leaking out from under the engine, but it just stunk. It was so bad one time I had to actually back it back out into the driveway and leave it out. So, and the second thing it did this no start thing again. Well, correction, it did it the first time about 2 or 3 weeks ago in there, and I actually had to end up giving it some prime for a good time, and it started and ran. So, you know, I knew something was going on with it. And the last thing that it did is every once in a while, when I really had to get on the gas real hard, when it shifted gears, it would kind of nose over, kind of spit and sputter a little bit like it was running out of fuel. So, you know, that all points to one thing. It's got a problem somewhere with one of the fuel lines, probably, of course, a supply line. These just have a supply line and probably a return line on it. So I've got it jacked up, and I got my good heavy duty homemade jack stands here at the ready. Now, let me tell you, these are jack stands. These are no wimpy ratchet style jack stands you buy at the parts store at Walmart. These are jack stands. These are what you would feel real safe laying under. So if anybody wants to try to hand at making these, I'll be glad to make a separate video detailing. I didn't make these, but I'll make a video showing how they are made, because they're great, really great. You can see they've got adjustments, little holes you can adjust the height and everything. So anyway, I'm going to get my jack stands in and get the light out here, and I'm going to tackle this, and we'll see what happens, see what we find. Hey guys, well, we're back here under the car. Got her jacked up and everything. There's the fuel lines. As I thought, there's a supply line and a return line going, hope you can see it here, going into the tank. The connections are up there, into the hard lines on the tank. And this tank, it looks like it's new, which I knew that, but so that's good. Hopefully my problem's not in there. I'm trying to get where you can see this. It's got like a little holder thing up under they're looking at the floor of the car above the rear end, and then over here, if you can see it or not, there's where they connect up there to the hard lines on the car going forward. I don't know what that one going across some side to side is right there. I don't know if that's something to do with the vent, or what it is, tank vent or something else, because I see it heading over here somewhere. You can't really see it, but yeah, you can see part of it up there. But I'll have to check that out. It's my muffler. It looks like a Flowmaster, but it's not. It's a generic, because Flowmaster gave up their patent on that muffler. Now, another thing I noticed when I'm down here, see, my rear end looks like it's leaking, so I'm gonna have to check check the level on that. It's not like I'm too awful concerned anyway. It's just a freaking 7.5 inch non-positive traction, so you know, if it blew up, so what. Yeah, you can get a little view here. There's some of the lines going. Well, no, yeah, there they are. I don't know what I'm looking at. Yeah, there's the fuel lines going up. You notice one of them's larger than the other. As a general rule, the larger fuel line, if you have two like this, the larger is the supply line, and of course the smaller one would be either a vapor return or a fuel return. I'm not sure how that works on this, and I think this is just a vapor return system. I don't think there's fuel flowing through that small one. So anyway, I've looked at these lines going up, and I don't see any leakage there at all. So, but I'm going to go ahead. You can see these lines here have got undercoating on them like the car does, so that means they've been on here 32 years, and I'm going to, just to be on the safe side, I'm just going to replace them. This line, I'll probably have to drop this tank down a little bit to do that, but that's okay. Let's see in there to it. Let's get her done. Well, YouTube, we're back on the fuel pump saga, fuel line saga, I guess you call it. And here I have the feed line from the fuel tank to the hard line going up front to the rest of the car and the engine off the Pontiac. And I'm not going to say this is definitively what's causing my problem, but take a look here. So I'm going to try to get this in the light so you can see it. Get the camera to focus, maybe. There we go. Look at that. I'm pretty sure this is the original line off this car. And this thing is pretty hard. Actually the vapor line was fine. It looked great, but this one just, I mean, is in piss poor shape. And again, we can't focus. The camera's having a problem here, but I'm not going to say this is definitively what was the issue. We're going to find out. But this is, if you own an old car, this is a good reason to get under there and check these fuel lines if you haven't, because these things just about turn to dust on you. And now, this being a carbureted car, the fuel pump's at the engine, so it's not like there's any pressure actually going through this line. But you know, you just don't want this gives gas fumes, and it possibly could leak fuel, but more than anything it's going to just suck air, because it's going to do if I haven't actually in fact lost the fuel pump on this car, then it could be sucking air through this line. And you know, I told you I was smelling gas for a while, off and on. Now, the way this works, this line here, sorry for the lighting, I'm kind of in the house here, it's dark outside, but this is the end that goes on the top of the fuel tank, and then it goes up over the axle, and the end that I'm holding, where the crack was, goes into the steel line going up. So it wasn't like it could just leak its fuel out, all of it, because of its orientation. When I took this off, there was probably about 2 tablespoons of fuel ran out of it, and that was it. So I mean, that's about normal. It's just, it settles in a low spot. But anyway, I'm going to throw, this is a 3/8 line, and I've got some new line for that, so I'm going to throw that on and let her back down, and we'll see what we got later.